We are walking you up. This is the first time I can say this. We're walking you up to Titans Radio. Yeah. Gonna get a little, that's right. Our inaugural journey into Titans Radio as they are taking on the San Francisco 49ers. We are going to close out the program today. I already had a conversation with the voice of the Titans, Taylor Zarzer, and that's how you will hear the end of the program heading in to Titans Radio. And how are you, Wes Neighbors?
I'm doing great.
Did you get any kind of letters from former disgruntled employees that don't want certain jersey numbers to be used for their name, image, and likeness?
We don't have many.
No, we don't. We don't.
Employees.
We really don't.
I think of two.
Two?
Yeah. You're thinking of one. But,
yeah, I think we're all thinking of that one.
But I'm thinking two, yeah.
Okay. All right.
There's one that had 7 jobs here. But, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Who I actually like. But.
Yeah. I do too. So the further I get into this story involving Jaden Daniels and his attorneys giving this to LSU of no longer wanting to be a part of the LSU program, they're wanting that. So when you win a Heisman, you get a Heisman and the school can buy a Heisman. This is to the point, at least what I'm reading out of the USA Today, is that Jaden Daniels' attorneys want LSU to not use the Heisman Trophy that he won while attending Louisiana State University. So the further I go down this story, I think we're focusing maybe on the wrong guy, because all of a sudden I'm reading a story this afternoon, Brian Kelly. An interview with Brian Kelly, the former LSU coach. So DJ Pickett was promised jersey number 5 by Brian Kelly. And so when Brian Kelly exits stage left, by the way, Lane Kiffin did speak today.
Well,
you want to hear what he said right out of the gate?
Because I want to hear what you're talking about. Why that matters, what you just said.
That Brian Kelly may have not, he shouldn't have promised a jersey number because number 9's not being worn. That was Joe Burrow.
Well, I mean, that's silly. That is a silly. That still doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you take away all the jerseys at Alabama, there wouldn't be any left. I mean, and you can say that. I
really hope you tuned in this morning to Talking Ball, because Drew went on a little bit of a rant.
That's shocking.
Yeah.
No, there's just too many lawyers in football now. Why? Surely Jaden Daniels will be asked the question why he had his attorney can't use his image and likeness, but I don't think he gets if he got paid for his image and likeness at LSU, it's LSU's image and likeness now, not his. This has gone to the
Hang on, I'm buzzing in one of our guests right now. So while I'm doing that, here's how the press conference started out, like you would think it would, with Lane Kiffin at high noon today.
Be disappointed if that wasn't the first question.
Come on now.
I commented a week ago on that, and so that's the comment that I had, and we're moving forward.
I guess just to ask one more question, just to understand numbers. If someone were to ask for number 9, would that be on the table for you? How would you handle that situation when a player asks for that?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. There's a lot to numbers and whether they're retired, whether they're not, and different versions, and so I don't have an answer.
So this may be one of my favorite follow-up to the follow-up questions.
I really want to ask if you had a favorite number growing up, but instead.
He didn't answer that, by the way, if he had a favorite number growing up. But it was pretty.
I bet it was his dad's number. He probably doesn't remember. Or
did Hulk Hogan have a number? I don't remember.
Hulk Hogan? Yeah. No, he didn't have it.
Well, we found that out at Media Days. It was, anyway. Oh, Lane Kiffin. But it did make me want to relive one of my favorite moments from Brian Kelly when he was asked about Jaden Daniels' success right out of the gate. That exasperated. But I'm starting to think that maybe Brian Kelly recruiting this young man.
Well, somebody promised him a number. Who cares? What is that big deal?
His lawyers care.
No,
Jaden Daniels' lawyers care.
But Brian Kelly's not even there anymore, so that doesn't matter.
Well, that's exactly my point. Where I'm sure it's, hey, can I wear jersey number 5? Sure. How about it?
Why wouldn't you tell them that? I don't know. I just think this is all about nothing. And the fact that the lawyers are calling in just makes me even feel worse about it.
Yep. Coming up on the program today, we will talk with Rodney Orr from TiderInsider.com. That's coming up here in the first hour. As Alabama had a scrimmage. You heard anything out of Tuscaloosa?
Well, man, I've been reading about from my buddies. Yeah.
It's
what we thought. I mean, the defensive line's awesome. The offensive line needs to get better. The quarterback struggled early, but then kind of nobody threw on time, but they started making plays. It's a first scrimmage, so it's a typical first scrimmage. Defense is ahead. You hadn't put your whole offense in. Usually defenses know the plays before you run them. It's the same old, same old. So
here's what Kalen DeBoer had to say on the offensive line.
Cohesion, I guess, one is communication and then being on the same page. And then just, I think they're taking it upon themselves, with what they do in the meeting room, just the extra work that they're putting in. They understand, that there's a lot of eyes on them and a lot of focus is on them as far as, what our team can be. And so they're owning it, accepting it, and, continuing to improve every single day. Definitely not there yet. And it's going to be something where every day you're just trying to, take those steps. Probably, there's things that they do really well. Like there's stuff that we can go out there and we can execute with those guys and feel really good about. Today, I think there's, a little bit of focus of trying to do that so you can get a rhythm going. But also, when you have live moments like we have today, and there's not many live days. I mean, there's half a dozen or so practices where we go full pads. Got to take advantage of the things that you can't see when you're not live and letting them go do their thing there. So some of the situations, there's less reps that they've had. You can see the execution or lack of execution isn't quite there yet. But that's why we practice. And, this is practice 8. It's going to go fast, but so there's urgency level. But these guys are putting the pedal down every single day, working on becoming one. And again, there's been a lot of consistency with who's in the rotation, especially with the ones, and that's been important for our progress.
I know everybody wants to know. Go ahead, Wes.
Well, I mean, so it's so hard for new offensive linemen to get used to playing beside each other, but then you're not going full speed, then you're not in contact, and then you're not in full pads. It's going to take them a minute. I don't for this Alabama team, they need a peak about week 7, somewhere around there. In those 4 games, they play Georgia, Tennessee, Texas A&M, and LSU all in a row.
By a week before LSU, but yeah.
So they need to get.
Well, that's kind of where they peaked last year, and then fell off of a cliff because of injuries.
Well, I wouldn't say they fell off a cliff. They just weren't as good. I mean, they were still winning. They lost 1 game after that. And
2.
Yeah. Well,
Georgia and Indiana.
Georgia was in the if they make the SEC championship, we'll forgive them the losing the SEC championship.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is they played very well during the regular season.
Okay, maybe falling off a cliff is a bit extreme.
Yeah, it is a bit.
But they still won a playoff game.
Yeah.
But you could tell, you could just see.
Well, Indiana
a
was
difference.
was eventual national championship and beat Oregon the same way the week after.
But peak Alabama last year was midseason.
Yeah, I think it was Missouri game. I think they played the way Missouri played in that in the game against Alabama. We were lucky to win the game. Alabama made the plays, but in doing so, they got a lot of people hurt.
Yeah.
So the whole point I'm making is the offensive line. It doesn't need to be the best they're going to be right now,
Yeah.
and they're not going to be.
Yeah.
They need to get better every week. That's going to be the key. And AK Deere having a great camp. Gets hurt.
Yeah.
The severity, I don't know, but he's going to miss time. He doesn't need to miss time. The freshman, Crowell, didn't practice again.
Mm-hmm.
So far, his time at Alabama, he hadn't practiced much. So whether he's going to be ready to play, I don't know. There are some question marks that come up from the scrimmage that I think that is not good in my opinion. The injuries are already stacking up in places where these guys, Crowell, AK Deere, they said they mentioned the freshman from Huntsville, Texas today. My people said he had some really good runs. They have some players there, but they have to get better. They have to be on the field to get better. And so, how AK Deere is a guy that has tremendous speed as well. Mm-hmm. They need some guys that can make some plays. They need some guys that can make people miss. I heard Waldrop, the guard. They were bragging on him in the center today. They had really good practices. But the defense, especially when you're not hitting, is going to be way ahead of you because you don't know where exactly. With your steps, everything, offensive lineman is so important. You can, if you watch when people get beat, it's because they have bad technique. If you have really good technique, there should only be the great people. An average player shouldn't even have a chance against you. Because you know the damn play. Right? You know where to go. All you got to do is get there before he does. So, and if you have good technique, then he's blocked. You don't have to kill him. Great players do, don't get me wrong, but you don't have to be a great player to be an effective player. And that's the whole thing, is that you don't want two average players playing next to each other because they'll get found out. But a great player can help a good player. Big time. So you don't have to have 5 guys who are going to play in the NFL to have a very effective offensive line. So they can build this, but we're not talking about Alabama going 8-4. We're talking about an Alabama team that's going to be a playoff team, and
a 1 or a 2-loss team.
Yes, and it's going to take that, a 2-loss team. Mm-hmm. I think anyway. We'll
1
see.
loss, definitely 2-loss.
Well, 2-loss you're in.
Yeah.
With their schedule, 2 losses you're at. There's no way you're not in. So we'll see. I think Kalen DeBoer is a really good football coach. I think that who are you going to hire besides him? Who would you hire today? There's about 2 coaches I think that I would hire. But I don't think either one of them can get out of their contract to go. And then you blow all your money. So it doesn't even make any sense. Mm-hmm. Kalen DeBoer is won championships on different levels and played for championships as a coach and won conference championships and played for the conference championship last year.
He did.
So
Alabama was the 1 seed last year.
Oh, yeah. And I just think that he's going to get it done. I hate all the negativity, though, and I don't.
You're hearing it?
I read it, but I don't know who they are.
Yeah,
it's people I don't know. I just think they're.
Well, that's probably your answer.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
If it's people that you respect and trust, I'm sure that'd be more bothersome.
Well, Feinbaum's never right. And
that's where you're getting the bulk of this negativity?
Well, some of it, but Feinbaum's
How many times have you said you don't know? He doesn't know if it's pumped up or it's stuffed.
Well, he doesn't. But the one thing he'll do, he'll be right eventually because he'll change his mind more than any person I've ever seen in my life. Danny Sheridan is where he gets all his information, and it's good information. Danny Sheridan.
Yeah,
I haven't heard from him. Is he okay?
I don't
He's
know.
an old dude.
Yeah, I have not heard from Danny Sheridan
in a long time.
quite some time.
Yeah, he used to come on Paul, and his takes were Paul's takes all year long.
How about that?
So
How about that?
anyway,
I don't think we're exactly.
I'm going to the scrimmage next Thursday, so I have a lot more to report.
Yeah,
but I wish I'd been able to go today, but wasn't able to. Had prior engagements and couldn't make it work.
but scrimmage number 2 is the if you had to go to one scrimmage,
I'd pick the first
it'd be scrimmage.
Well, what I like,
number 2.
my favorite thing, and it, as you get older and you got a lot of responsibility, you got 11 grandchildren, you don't get to go as many scrimmages as you'd like.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing to do is go to the first scrimmage and then watch the second scrimmage.
See how much better they get.
Who is proven during that week.
Yeah.
But even then, you're not, I mean, I think of all the people that I've said were going to be really good and never quite panned out. Of course, some of them did at other schools.
They did.
But you can tell when a guy can flash, he has it. Now, you don't know some guys get down there and they get distracted by, there's a bunch of distractions you could find. Right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of guys get distracted and
Especially kids with money, too.
Well, yeah, you lose your work ethic, and the guys that work the hardest play the longest. You got to have a little luck too, as far as the injury thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I like what I like. I don't like we get too much information out of Tuscaloosa, I think. Boy, they interview everybody and their mother now. You know, I love it when Saban was the only one that talked.
Oh, you don't like the coordinators talking?
No, I think it ought to be one guy talking. But I like what the coordinators are saying.
I like the DC more and more. And
well, they're going to have a good defense, barring injury. They're going to have and I told you that when I saw them.
Yeah,
they look the part, and there are some players.
Yeah,
and they've done a really good job of bringing this defense around. You know, the linebackers are something to be concerned about, but I hear that they're doing well. I heard Bray Hubbard was all over the field. He's a playmaker. The guy is a really good player and a really good dude. And it's going to be fun to see what they end up doing this year.
On the subject of injuries, it feels like a good lead-in to our next segment. Nathaniel's here from Johnson and Hayes to...
He gets you back on the field.
That's right. That's right. Going to help us promote an event that's coming up on the 25th. That's a week from Tuesday. So... before we take a timeout, Kalen DeBoer did say this. He named his starting quarterback. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. All right.
As the scrimmage went on, they both got better. Both had their moments early where they could have executed better. They could use some help from some guys once in a while. They're not going to be perfect all the time. Operationally, I just think, again, it's them running the show, but everyone doing their part. And so the slow start really wasn't about one player, one position group, but both of them really, as the scrimmage went along, got in their rhythm. And so the challenge to them now will just be starting faster every single time we have these game-like scrimmages and practices coming out and setting the tone themselves.
So what Kalen DeBoer said to the boys in the morning is that he wanted to name a starting quarterback by the second scrimmage. So we'll find out a week from today. We'll find out. We'll dive into...
I would be like Saban. I mean, you know...
I'm just going off of what Coach DeBoer said on this very radio station.
I love the way Coach Saban handled quarterbacks. And the media, for that matter.
I bet you did.
Yeah. So I mean, he was.
I don't know how many times he answered a question, and it wasn't even the question that was asked.
Oh yeah, AJ McCarron did not start the first game. You remember that? They battled it out for 2 games before they named a starter.
Was that the USC game or
No. That was a
Michigan
different deal.
Or
No, I think Penn State. It's the year we went to Penn State. AJ started that game, and then started the rest of the year.
Okay.
Then
all these
you're talking about Jalen Hurts didn't start his first game.
That's
after I went down there and told you Jalen Hurts is the guy.
Yeah.
But I don't think he started him on purpose. You know, Coach Saban was good about team building. And really probably what he was best at, period, was team building.
Yeah.
Know what buttons to push, when to put pressure on him, when to take it off. He was a master at it.
Well, John, push the button. It's time to go to a break. We'll talk to Nathaniel on the other side. Yeah, let's take a timeout, shall we? Any day now. Maybe 5 minutes from now. How about that?
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey, I'm Bobby White for Lynn Layton Ford Indicator. Summer is flying by and our summer sales event is coming to an end soon. But there's still time to lock in low, amazing summer deals. Now's your last chance to get 0% financing, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 maintenance for 2 years, and $1,000 down payment assistance on a huge selection of new Fords. With your good credit, get up to $6,000 off MSRP on 26 Broncos. $6,000 off. While they last, get $7,500 off MSRP on a 25 Bronco Sport. $7,500 off. The last new 2026 STX Crew Cab started under $46,000, and Lynn Layton Ford will never add any dealer dock fees or some ridiculous upcharge. Don't miss out on 0%, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 cost for maintenance for 2 years, and $1,000 in down payment assistance. Hurry into Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford Country, just a mile south of the Beltline Indicator, or online anytime at LynnLaytonFord.com.
Bronco 28442T, Bronco Sport 28032D, F-150 28485T. See dealer for details.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
TLG's Next Level software team tackles your automation bottlenecks, saving our customers precious time and money.
This resource is unique to Huntsville and Birmingham, and I urge you to ask about it.
From the largest to the smallest companies, TLG is here for you.
TLG is doing the right thing for all aspects of your company.
Just ask anyone.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at dan@danaldridgelaw.com. dan@danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Hey folks, Arthur Seed, managing partner at University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama and Auburn football. Swing by University Kia today and check out our huge selections of brand new Kias, including the spacious Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the slick new K5, the sporty Kia Seltos. We've got perfect cars for every lifestyle and budget. Visit universitykia.com to view all our amazing offers and get pre-approved amenities. because we want to see you in a Kia. Roll Tide, War Eagle.
This is Jen with the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Y'all need to come join us. We have so many fun things every night of the week. From Monday night, steak night, Tuesday night, karaoke, Wednesday night, we have Singo Bingo, Thursday night is bike night. Of course, we've got live music on the weekends, so y'all come join us. Meridian Street Crossing, we've got Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Come on next door to the Rocket City Honky Tonk, where we've got honky tonk music all night long. Y'all come join us. We'd love to see you.
Hi, Bama fans. Chris Stewart, voice of the Crimson Tide. Join us all season long for Alabama football.
And hallelujah,
It's over. Yonsei Pierre with the stop. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Does Brian usually customize this whole thing?
Welcome back to The Drive. That's John Abraham behind the glass.
It's good to be here.
Maybe a proper introduction for our first guest would be the following.
Baseball and softball players, get ready for spring with the 6th annual free preseason injury prevention screening from Johnson & Hayes Physical Therapists. Designed for overhead athletes, this one-on-one screening evaluates shoulder mobility, strength, stability, and hip function, then provides personalized results and exercises to help keep you healthy and performing at your best. Join us Tuesday, August 25th from 5:30 to 7 at our Huntsville Clinic. It's free for all high school and college baseball and softball players. Reserve your screening today at johnsonandhayes.com.
We're going to dive into this, and prevention a big factor, and it's great to see you again, Nathaniel.
Thanks for having me back, guys.
So, well, I mean, it's a small percentage of people that actually flunk their physical, but there's all kind of. I wish somebody had been there for me, and had this when I was in high school.
I think that's the biggest reason that we found that this was a real niche area that we needed to get into. Because pre-participation physicals have their purpose, and of course, but we wanted to kind of dive in, get a little bit more in depth with our overhead athletes to really dial in exactly what's going on that may cause some of these future injuries, and how can we intervene early. And so we come up with this screening form, all evidence-based screening, to try to get to the best screen and the best evaluation of these athletes that we can, and develop individualized programs for them to take back to their strength coaches, to take back to their regular coaches, to try to hopefully prevent some of these common injuries that walk in my clinic.
So when I was a freshman, I was running the ball, and somebody grabbed my arm, and my shoulder came out of place. And I was having trouble with it. And I think if I'd gone to rehab, I never had what happened to me. But my arm was up backwards, out of place. And the head coach, who actually did a good job doing this, but at the time I was like, oh. And when your shoulder's out of place and backwards, you don't care what they do to you, right? You just want relief.
Right.
And I've had this happen multiple times with multiple injuries. So he takes his foot, and I'm laying on the ground. He takes his foot, puts his foot on my shoulder, and pulls it, and it snaps back in. Huh. But I'd been complaining about it it has been bothering me for weeks. Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of thing they catch. Rehab, which I did on my other shoulder and didn't have surgery. Eventually I had surgery on this. But that's the kind of things that the technology today is so much better that really, if you have any injury, there's no injury bad enough that surgery can't make worse. Now, there's a lot of great surgeons, and eventually, but you want to do that as a last resort.
Right.
Because you got to live the rest of your life with these things, with your joints, what I'm talking to. And these guys helped me after a horrific injury I had, get back, and they know what they're doing. And these guys can help.
Yeah, I think that's
prevent bad injuries.
Absolutely, Wes. I mean,
and that's what you're trying to do is not get them before and rehab it, get it stronger, and then you don't have to have the surgery.
Right. We're trying to find them early before they get into our clinic. Hey, what are some things that you can go ahead and start working on right now, right out of the gate? Here's your pinpoint dysfunction that we have identified, and say, here is our stream of exercises that I want you to start doing, and hopefully you stay out of my clinic. So that was our full intention, and also too, not just worrying about the shoulder, the elbow, but what are the other components to that upper body athlete? Their upper back mobility, their hip mobility, their hip strength, and there's a large component to that may not be identified somewhere else.
And if the looser your hips are, the better football player you can be. And they can help you with that as well. And
are our spots filling up?
We are. We already started. We opened up our sign up form earlier this week. We're starting to have people sign up.
JohnsonandHayes.com, by the way, for that.
Right. There's a little pop up there with a QR. You can go there, or you can make a phone call to our Providence location. Elizabeth is taking registration right now. That phone number is 256.
I was trying to help you there.
886-1300.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Trying to make it as easy as we can. We've also sent out letters to all of the high school coaches in the area, and so they're familiar with what we're doing, what we're trying to do, and they also have a sign-up form as well.
I mean, it's literally going to pop up when you go to Johnson and Hayes. That's HAYES.com. It's going to pop up right in front of you, and it's going to say learn more and register, and away you go.
Right. And so our screening should take about 25 to 30 minutes to go through the full battery of screening. We have a station set up, so we try to get it done as quick as we can, but we want to make sure that we're able to spend time with your with the kid, with the athlete, to make sure we're really giving them a solid screen and making it easy for them to go find all the resources that they need pending their screen.
Again, this is for baseball and softball players. With it's 6th annual. That's
yep.
I mean, this is a good service, a solid service, and it's a week from Tuesday, the 25th, from 5:30 to 7 o'clock in the evening. So you don't have to wake up. It's 5:30 to 7 o'clock in the evening on Tuesday, August the 25th. And what I find interesting is just the specific factors. Shoulder, to me, is the next great, mystery to solve, because medicine has gone, you mentioned it, Wes, gone leaps and bounds, but I know shoulder is probably that next.
Right.
And elbows for pitchers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tommy John.
Absolutely. And we can identify these. Earlier, like Wes said, technology has come so much further than where it was, and the idea of helping these kids, because that was one of the big things in PT school, and also when I was practicing as an athletic trainer, is we need to identify these earlier versus sending these, hopefully not sending these 12 and 13-year-old kids for surgery. So that's where I feel like we need to come alongside the athlete to get them into the right thing, because a lot of people are just asking, what can I do? What can I do to, improve my, shoulder mobility or improve my strength? And how do I last longer, especially as these kids are starting to play more games. Now, they're not just playing school ball, they're also playing travel ball. And so we want to make sure that they are getting the correct screening done so we can best help them be successful.
Well, we've already got a lot of injuries to get to on the college football side of things, but I'll put a pin in that. But when we actually get to the season, although there was a lot of news today coming out of Alabama in that regard, I'm sure Auburn comes up tomorrow with their scrimmage. We'll probably hear the same.
Right. Yep.
And it's always good to see you.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Again, it is 5:30 to 7. Tuesday, August 25th, and as he just said, spots are already filling up. And Nathaniel said that, not me. JohnsonandHayes.com. That's HAYES.com. JohnsonandHayes.com. Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you so much.
Let's
It's good seeing you again.
Yeah,
Good to see y'all.
yeah.
Look
Excited
forward to this year.
See you in a couple
Getting
weeks.
the injury report on Tuesday.
That's right.
That's right.
Let's dive into Tuscaloosa next with Rodney Orr here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Lynn Leighton Ford, located online at lynnleightonford.com.
Hey, I'm Bobby White for Lynn Leighton Ford Indicators. Summer is flying by and our summer sales event is coming to an end soon. But there's still time to lock in low, amazing summer deals. Now's your last chance to get 0% financing, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 maintenance for 2 years, and $1,000 down payment assistance on a huge selection of new Fords. With your good credit, get up to $6,000 off MSRP on 26 Broncos. $6,000 off. While they last, get $7,500 off MSRP on a 25 Bronco Sport. $7,500 off. The last new 2026 STX Crew Cab started under $46,000, and Lynn Leighton Ford will never add any dealer dock fees or some ridiculous upcharge. Don't miss out on 0%, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 cost for maintenance for 2 years, and $1,000 in down payment assistance. Hurry into Lynn Leighton Ford, right in the heart of Ford Country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnleightonford.com.
Bronco 28442T, Bronco Sport 28032D, F-150 28485T. See dealer for details.
Hey, I'm Bobby White for Lynn Leighton Ford Indicators. Summer is flying by and our summer sales event is coming to an end soon. But there's still time to lock in low, amazing summer deals. Now's your last chance to get 0% financing, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 maintenance for 2 years, and $1,000 down payment assistance on a huge selection of new Fords. With your good credit, get up to $6,000 off MSRP on 26 Broncos. $6,000 off. While they last, get $7,500 off MSRP on a 25 Bronco Sport. $7,500 off. The last new 2026 STX Crew Cab started under $46,000, and Lynn Leighton Ford will never add any dealer dock fees or some ridiculous upcharge. Don't miss out on 0%, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 cost for maintenance for 2 years, and $1,000 in down payment assistance. Hurry into Lynn Leighton Ford, right in the heart of Ford Country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnleightonford.com.
Bronco 28442T, Bronco Sport 28032D, F-150 28485T. See dealer for details.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best. And this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
Fall Saturdays in the South mean football. And when football season rolls, patio and grill season rolls right with it. Turn your patio into your favorite place to watch the game. From premium grills like Big Green Egg, Yoder, Blaze, and Napoleon, to outdoor furniture built for Saturday. Brooks & Collier has everything you need to make your patio the best seat in the house. Brooks & Collier, 80 years, 4 generations, the Valley's best in outdoor living. 813 Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Incredibly hot through the course of the afternoon under a partly sunny sky. Temperatures have no problems climbing into the mid and upper 90s. Heat indices going to be anywhere between 105 and 110. We only drop into the mid and upper 70s as we head into the overnight, so we're going to maintain that heat. A partly sunny sky for your Friday. Again, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. Heat indices 105 to 110.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Chris Stewart. Start your day with Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Plus, listen daily for Crimson Tide Today. Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The name of the book is Bigger Than Bama. But you probably know him best for his work at Tider Insider. Good friend of the station. I think he equally puts up with Drew DeArmond as much as we do. It's Rodney Orr joining us. What do you say there, Rodney?
Oh, Drew, he's one of a kind, isn't he?
Thank God. No, we love him.
Oh yeah. He is.
He
it's a shame.
Yeah,
it's a shame he's not opinionated.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
All right, Rodney. So scrimmage number 1. Give us some intel, sir.
I'll tell you. Tell us what impressed you the most first.
Well, now let me be clear. Of course, you know how it is, Wes.
Oh yeah.
The media's locked out. So we go on, secondhand reports from people that are there and talking to some people, former players, et cetera, who got to observe firsthand. I think it's fair to say the defense pretty much dominated the day. But as I pointed out, that was kind of expected. I mean, I think most first scrimmages, you want the defense to be ahead. Now, I'm not saying you want them to be as significantly ahead as maybe they appeared to be today. But I think, again, you always want the defense to be ahead, I think, a little bit at this point. And the offense has a long way to go. There's a lot of new faces up front, a lot of work to do there. You've got 2 young quarterbacks that don't have a lot of experience, even though this is Mac's 4th year in the system. And, of course, Keelan's going in his 2nd year. But there's a lot of work to do, on the offense. And I think the defense clearly was ahead, and it showed today.
So my concern, everybody talks about the offensive line, and of course, those guys are. There's 2 guys that have any snaps, but it takes time to build an offensive line to come together anyway. Yep. I mean, and they're just going to get better. Mm-hmm. I'm more concerned about the running back room with Crowell's the guy that I've been bragging about. You watch his tape. I was there for a practice. He actually practiced. Looked really good. He actually got hurt in that practice. What are you hearing and why he's not practicing now?
Yeah, I think it is just the injury, whatever it is. And DeVore wasn't specific that I saw today.
Yeah.
With what he said, he just said, "Hey," and again, it's really disheartening to an extent because, obviously he missed spring with the injury, and this was going to be a big camp for him, and now he's missing more time. He doesn't get the scrimmage. He's a young kid anyway. He's only 17, supposed to be going into his senior year of high school. So, man, he needs as much work as he can get to learn how to do all the things that he has to do with his assignments. And I heard the same thing talking to somebody else, a former player who saw him practice over the weekend. I think it was a Sunday practice, and said he looked really good. He even made some really good blocks that caught his attention. So he was making progress, and then this happens, and he's not practicing and scrimmaging. So, and then Deere gets hurt today, and he was having a really good scrimmage. Not only was Deere having a good scrimmage, or he was also having a really good camp. He's come a long way. I mean, Grubb said he's made a ton of progress, and he's very explosive, very dynamic, and that was really encouraging, the progress he was making. And then he goes down with this what appears to be a lower, without getting too specific, because I'm not 100% sure, it does appear to be a lower leg injury.
Yeah, I heard it's ankle injury. From my buddies.
That's pretty much what we've heard too, Wes. Yeah. And it could be really, we'll see. Speculation is it might not be good, but we'll see how it turns out. So with that said, then all of a sudden you're down Crowell, you're down Deere, and you've got Daniel Hill, Kevin Riley, and Trayshawn Brown.
And Trayshawn looked really good.
Brown.
Yeah, Trayshawn looked good today, is what I was told again.
I'm high on him.
Yeah, he was good at the scrimmage. I mentioned him on the air. I went to one scrimmage last spring, and I was impressed with the squad they'd put together. And my hat's off to the GM. 3 of them came from junior college, and those 3 guys all can play. And nobody was talking about them. They weren't on anybody's list. One guy was from Canada, I think.
Yeah, Steve Boomois, maybe. You're talking about the defensive lineman?
Right.
Yeah.
How did he look today?
Yeah, he was actually recruited out of high school out of Canada, and then he didn't pass the international English test. So he couldn't play. He had to go to junior college.
Thank God the people from here don't have to take that.
Well, he finally got himself here last year, and he's made a big I think he's made a jump. I like him. And you're right. They have spotted some guys that weren't really high on the radar of a lot of these. Another
guy, junior college, a wide receiver, a kind of a scat wide receiver. I was told that a lot of people, I don't have his name, but they mentioned him who's the safety that Bray Hubbard mentioned him in the somebody to watch that not a lot of people are talking about at media days.
Yeah, I don't know if he was talking about Tyler Henderson or not, out of a JUCO in Mississippi.
Yes, that's exactly who he was talking about.
I thought he looked good in A-Day. And like you said, Trayshawn Brown, I like him. He seems to be really durable. He's not very tall. I mean, 5'9", but so what? I mean, he's 205 pounds. He runs with some power. I like his vision and his instincts. He just seems to be a real natural, catches the ball well. I thought in A-Day he made the first guy miss every time after the catch.
And that's what we were missing last year.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think he can be a really valuable addition here. And, it looks like he might be he could potentially be playing a lot. He really could.
Wes, how did you phrase it in the first segment with the negativity around the program? How did you?
Well, I
wanted Rodney to comment on it.
It's mostly people that have nothing to do with the program, and all they do is talk like DeBoer's on his last leg in Tuscaloosa or something. He just got a new contract. I don't know what these people are seeing or expecting, but I don't hear any noise from anybody that matters.
Well, yeah. I mean, first of all, and last night was with someone that, former player. I won't name him just because he may not like that, but we were talking, and he said, just how it's all changed. I mean, look, now the goal is, it used to be you wanted to be 12-0 or 11-1. I mean, you almost had to be that. Now it's, okay, can we get to the playoffs? That's what you have to do. Is position yourself to get into the playoffs. So you may lose, you may go 10-2, but if you go 10-2 and you're in the playoffs, I mean, it really doesn't matter that you dropped a game here or there. It's how do you play once you get into the playoffs, and that's really how the game has changed. I mean, it's kind of hard to accept for Alabama fans. I get it, but you got to be able to make the playoffs. And I think this team, with that schedule, the way it sets up, and I think some of these teams in the first 5 games are going to be pretty good teams. But I think Alabama's going to be favored in every one of those games if you look at it now. You go 5-0, and I think that's really important. Go 5-0, gain some experience. As you mentioned, Wes, it takes time for that offensive line to develop some cohesiveness. Hopefully by then they're coming around a little bit. The quarterback's got his feet up under him. Defense should be really good. Then Georgia comes to town. And you know what? If you beat Georgia and you're 6-0, hey, Steve, I know you don't like to hear that, but
he's used to it.
but if you beat Georgia, then everybody's talking about Alabama again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm.
What is the likelihood we see multiple quarterbacks for just right out of the gate? Are we gonna? You think see a primary starter, or do you think we might see a shuffle a little bit?
Well, that's a great question. You remember 2011, of course, Saban let AJ and Phillip Sims kind of
I mentioned that earlier in the show.
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant the way you handled it.
Yeah.
And what he did, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rodney, is he kind of let the players almost pick the coach.
Exactly. Yeah, he did. That's exactly.
And that's kind of what I think's happening right now. Don't think DeBoer's not talking about Coach Saban about this either.
Yeah, right. But I do think, look, he's got a little bit different philosophy with his quarterbacks. I think he likes to choose a guy and roll with him. He doesn't want a guy looking over his shoulder. Now, I think if he can name a guy after next scrimmage, or at least tell them, okay, you're the guy, and then whenever he decides to publicly announce it's another thing. But you go in that first game, I think this is ideally what he wants. It go in that first game, and maybe both of them play. Now, it might be so that where there's not enough separation to just say, okay, this is the guy. And you might have to go into that East Carolina game and say, you know what, we're probably going to try to play both of you guys. Now, I don't know if you're going to set it up in a way that you split the game up, or you're going to say, okay, we're going to let this one start, and then maybe we're going to get to you sometime in the third quarter or whatever. I don't know how they'll do it. It just depends on how it all plays out. Of course, there's different scenarios. But I think I think DeBoer is still planning to name a guy, put him in there, roll with him, and see what happens. But you know what? We'll see. We'll see over the next 2 weeks.
Because honestly, not a lot of people are talking about it, Rodney, but I see a landmine there in week 2. It's a road game, SEC, and just a new system, and it's a lot of new pieces as well. I don't know what to expect out of Kentucky. I really don't.
No, I don't either. I know Will Stein is pretty confident.
Yeah. Listening
But,
to him, you're exactly right.
Yeah. So I've heard a lot of good things about him, and I know that they supposedly brought in a lot of really good players in the off season, that they had a pretty good, I don't know if it's portal or whatever. It sounds like that they got some portal guys. I haven't looked at them yet. But, you're going up there. That's a tough, that could be a tough one. No doubt. I mean, look, there's so much transition now.
It's hard to
know with all these teams.
Hard to know what anybody
we don't know
has.
What to expect.
Yeah.
Now Georgia, obviously they've got a lot of guys coming back, and I think you look, even though Alabama doesn't have Texas.
Come on, Rodney. We were talking about Indiana this time a year ago. We were the only program in America. Nobody was talking about Indiana this time.
Yeah, right. I mean, you just don't know.
We were talking about their easy schedule.
Yes, we were. Yes.
Yeah. And Texas has people back,
Mm-hmm.
and so you would suspect that those teams, no wonder they're ranked to where they are or projected to be up at the top of the SEC. But I don't know how you really call it anymore. I mean, Lane's got a lot of different new guys at LSU. Alabama's got a lot of new guys. Several of these teams, just the transition is makes it difficult to predict. And I do think one thing too about Alabama, it's a positive. And I do think there's, Wes, and you know this, when you're out there on that field or when you're observing, you can kind of pick up a vibe. And there's a chemistry that seems to be out there, as you just kind of pick up the vibe from these guys. I think they have a chip on their shoulder a little bit. I think they use that the way the season ended to kind of motivate a lot of the guys that are back. I know Baloo did, based on what I was told. So, I think this team's entering the season with the chip on their shoulder. It's got a pretty good vibe.
I think they're going to be really good defensively, and it's going to be interesting to see at the quarterback. Quarterback has to have help no matter what, and they got to be able to run the ball better than they did last year. I think that's been an emphasis. But as I said last year, if you watch the tape, it wasn't just the offensive line. I mean, the offensive line would have everybody block in the back, find somebody to go fall over. It was everything was frustrating last year when it came to the running game.
I think the vision, like you said, I mean, it was really not there, the running backs. And maybe it was just so discombobulated that they lost confidence too. I don't know. But you're right. I mean, there were opportunities
The Oklahoma game, if they make one guy miss, it was a touchdown probably 7 times I watched. All they had to do is make one guy miss, and it was a touchdown. I mean, they were run blitzing every down. They didn't care.
Right.
And it worked out for them the first time. Now, Alabama burned them a couple in the second game a bunch of times.
Well, and that'll be something really crucial to watch. I mean, certainly, especially now, like you said, with the injuries that they have, and you just don't know what the availability is going to be. It's those 3 guys that we talked about, Hill, Riley, and Trayshawn Brown may really have to step up.
Yeah, no question, and just not on the just not running the ball either. It has to be in pass protection. Because guess what?
And that goes back to the running back room that we talked about and the amount of injuries.
And, you're missing time. And blitz pickup is a huge thing for backs. And because if they bring 6, guess what? There's only 5 offensive linemen. You can also keep your tight end, but the tight end needs to be a weapon for Alabama in this offense. So it's just gonna be interesting to watch. That's for sure.
Speaking of the tight end, the transfer from Oklahoma State, Josh Ford, is somebody that they've really raved about all off season. He's 6'6", he's 265. They think he can bring a real physical presence, in the block and run game. and then Caleb Edwards, I heard he had a big day today, or had a couple of big plays. And again, he's 6'6", 265 plus. And he was kind of thrown in there last year. He did not go through spring practice. He was not an early enrollee. So he kind of made a contribution without a lot of preparation.
Like most freshmen, he faded at the end of the year. When people start watching tape on you and know what you do well and don't do well, and for freshmen, it's hard to change, And so when they start getting and playing you on the things that you might have done well in the previous games, they're going to take that away from you. And then freshmen usually don't get frustrated, don't know exactly what to do. And that's what it reminded me last year of him. And I think he got a little banged up as well. And it's really hard I remember Amari Cooper talking about how he, at media days, and I'd said, he did good until he turned his ankle. And then he wasn't the same player. And that's the thing about freshmen. And they had him at media days, and he said, I got to learn how to play hurt better. And there's something to that as well. It's hard for young guys to play hurt.
Right. Yeah, and he also had some other things, and like you said, it was just learning to play through the injuries that he had. But another thing, Wes, and I think it'd be interesting for you to comment, actually, since you have been down here and watched them, my take, the first day going into camp, I always look at the defensive line. That's the first group I always look at. And as I looked at these guys, I said, okay, now this group looks more like a Saban. That's what I posted as soon as I walked out of the gate. I said, this group, I don't know if they're going to be better, but they look more like
they're going to be a lot better.
Saban SEC defensive line.
That was their goal, to stop the run.
Exactly.
And get players that would.
And then also, and this is where I'm interested in what you have to say because you've been down here, is I really thought the offensive line, and I watched them a couple of days ago. There was the first opportunity. It was the day they went full pads, and you can really get a better feel for what they look like because they're not wearing that baggy stuff. So I looked at this offensive line, and I think physically they look really good. They're not massive in terms of they don't want their guys. Just to give you an example, Wilkin-Form.
Rodney, we are right up against it, unfortunately.
Hey, I'm Bobby White for Lynn Layton Ford Indicators. Summer is flying by, and our summer sales event is coming to an end soon. But there's still time to lock in low, amazing summer deals. Now's your last chance to get 0% financing, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 maintenance for 2 years, and $1,000 down payment assistance on a huge selection of new Fords. With your good credit, get up to $6,000 off MSRP on 26 Broncos. $6,000 off. While they last, get $7,500 off MSRP on a 25 Bronco Sport. $7,500 off. The last new 2026 STX Crew Cab started under $46,000. And Lynn Layton Ford will never add any dealer dock fees or some ridiculous upcharge. Don't miss out on 0%, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 cost for maintenance for 2 years, and $1,000 in down payment assistance. Hurry into Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com.
Bronco 28442T, Bronco Sport 28032D, F-150 28485T. See dealer for details.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Standout rookie Peyton Tolley allowed 2 hits over 8 shutout innings. He retired the last 17 batters he faced. Caleb Durbin broke the game open in the top of the 8th with a grand slam. Red Sox beat the Blue Jays 7-0 to snap a 5-game losing streak. Mariners edged the Yankees 1-0 for only their 6th win in 21 games. Tigers blanked the Guardians 3-0, became the first team to shut out an opponent without a strikeout in a dozen years. Reds edged the White Sox 9-8. Chicago's AL Central lead 2.5 on Detroit, 3 on Minnesota, 4 on Cleveland. Cade Cavalli struck out 10 in 8 innings. Nationals rolled by the Cubs 7-0. Chicago managing just 1 hit this afternoon. Pirates belted out 16 hits. They routed the Marlins 13-1. First overall pick in the NFL draft, Raiders quarterback Fernando Mendoza set to get plenty of reps in tonight's preseason opener. Practice mostly with the second team this summer. Could get some snaps with a few members of the first team offense. Keep an eye on 2 things with Mendoza tonight, says ESPN's Dan Orlovsky.
Ease for Fernando Mendoza. Ease getting in and out of the huddle, something that he did not do in college. Ease at the line of scrimmage, handling all the formations, the shifts, the motions that Clint Kubiak is going to put him under. The next step would be for me, if it doesn't go great, there's a lack of comfort in it. How does he handle that? What's his poise like?
Cards rookie QB Carson Beck won't play in Vegas tonight due to a rib injury. That injury not considered serious. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes won't play Saturday as he continues to make his way back from knee surgery.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Friday, we continue to get you ready for football as we go 2-a-days with the Jets and the Bucks. Will either of the team's Week 1 QBs be their starter next season? It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
So before we start hour number 2, let's clean up hour number 1. Rodney texted me the question he wanted you to answer.
All right.
Alabama offensive line, how do they look on the hoof? Just look, how do they look physically?
Oh, they're in shape now. I mean, I wasn't there today, but I've heard, do
they look better?
I don't look like on the hoof better. I don't think they looked bad last year on the hoof.
Just what Wes thinks about how the offensive line looks physically, looks better on the hoof.
On the hoof, I thought they looked good last year on the hoof. Those are some big cats. I thought their technique sucked. A lot of them. I mean, I said that. I mean, they're stepping off with the wrong. You got
new offensive line coach.
Yeah,
practically a new offensive line.
I thought the offensive line did well in the practice I went to. I thought they competed well. It was some of the defensive guys' first days there, and you knew they were going to get better. I'm telling you, Alabama's defensive line is real deal.
We can talk some scrimmages as well with our next guest as we head on up to Michigan to talk to Coach Al Borges. Coach, it's been a while. How have you been, sir? How was your summer?
I've been great. You guys miss me?
Absolutely. Of course we did.
Oh,
Come on now.
Well, no. The last time I reached out to you, you were busy doing something. I don't know, hanging out with the family, something like that.
Well, I've been going through all kinds of stuff here because I'm getting old. I had to get cataract surgery a couple of days ago. Then I got a colonoscopy. I mean, even at Christmas, every time I turn around, it's something else. Once you hit 70, guys, it's something all the time. You know what I mean?
So one of my dad's friends, Coach, when he had a colonoscopy, sent him flowers from the doctor. Said the card said, "I hope you enjoyed yesterday as much as me."
That's great. I think I'll do that. It's not too late.
So getting into a scrimmage itself, especially a first scrimmage, Coach, in terms of how you script a scrimmage of what you want to find answers of, how much? Tell me a little bit about that process from your perspective, Coach.
Well, a lot of it was really determined on whether we were still trying to find a quarterback. You know what I mean? If we had an established quarterback, we would focus more on other things that weren't as established so we could find out who was going to play. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If we did not have an established quarterback and there was competition at the position, we had to feature the quarterback position a little bit more than probably you would want to normally, where you throw a few more passes and have some running quarterback offense that will just, even though he's not live, a lot of times you can get an idea on how good he is at that. But that was really my approach. Is that was such a huge determining factor as to how we were going to scrimmage early. Now, once we got into it a couple weeks, and you got an idea who's going to play, then you're really looking to polish up the quality of your offense. It's different than spring to me. Where spring, it's all you got no games, you can pretty much do what you want. If you have a bad scrimmage, you don't fret over that near as much as you get closer to game time, and if you're not executing, you start getting nervous. You know what I mean? But that was basically my approach. Is if you got a quarterback, and feature the positions that you want to find out something about. If you don't, feature the quarterback.
So can you give us an example how you might feature someone you're trying, like when you say feature, you're talking about maybe if you're trying to find your starting wide receivers, you throw the ball, running back, running the ball. What about offensive linemen?
Well, the byproduct of both of those is you get work at both. You know what I mean? They'll get plenty of work at the run and the pass game, because even if we're looking for quarterback, we're not going to throw the ball every play. You know what I mean? We may throw it a little more than we would in a game, but we still won't throw it, to where all they're doing is retreating every play. We're going to find out what those guys can do. So there's a broad scope of things that have to be studied, and X amount of time to study it. So, but by the time you get through your third week or so, you've scrimmaged, 3 or 4 times, and you've had a pretty good, and in practice too, because hell, in practice, even though it's not always scrimmage, those guys up front are pretty much going full speed.
Yeah. So no matter if you got pads on or not. That's what.
Yeah, exactly. So, you get a pretty good idea who can move their feet, who's technically sound, who's learning the system in a timely fashion. A closer eye on the kids that have not played rather than the guys that have played. The established players, again, that you can pretty much rely on. You're still fine-tuning skills, but if you got a left tackle position that's wide open, then you got to figure out which guy, because that's so paramount to your scheme, run and pass. You've got to make sure that you have opportunities there to see if you can run behind him and if he can pass protect the backside of the quarterback.
Sounds like, at least talking out loud here to you, Coach, that the scrimmage that was played today in Tuscaloosa, Ryan Grubb specifically on offense, it feels like it's totally different at Auburn of what we're going to see scrimmage-wise tomorrow, be it from Joel Gordon or Cody Burns, the co-offensive coordinator, which how does that sound to you there, Coach? That
co-offensive coordinator?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, no, I would never, and this is going to sound egotistical. I never was a fan on that. I wasn't even much of a fan on passing and running coordinators. I had my last couple of years. I had guys with those titles, but they were titles so you could give them a little more money. Okay. I coordinated the offense, and so that's old school thinking, maybe, but that's just how I would.
But there is no quarterback debate at Auburn as there is a true quarterback battle in Tuscaloosa is where I'm going, Coach.
Exactly. So you got to find out, was it Mack and
Austin
Russell?
Mack, and
Austin Mack and Russell.
Keelan Russell.
Keelan Russell. Yeah, those two guys, both of them got some skills, right?
Right.
Both guys won't bring exactly to the table the same thing. One guy will be better at one, maybe just a little better, and maybe a lot better, I don't know, than the other, whether it be pass or run or whatever. How you have to establish, once you establish your quarterback, then you can see what direction your offense is going to take with regard to your approach, okay? And by that, I mean, it was a lot different coaching Jason Campbell than coaching Denard Robinson, okay? If Denard Robinson was going to be the quarterback, the offense was going to go a little different direction. Something different was going to be featured. And I think now that's an extreme example, and it may not be that extreme with Russell and Mack, but there is some factors there that you have to consider. Your offense is going to be geared to the skill set of the guy that takes the snaps. So when he's in there, you got to decide how you want to go about featuring his skill set. And that could affect the entire offense. Excuse me.
Talking to Al Borges right now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline and talking a little prepping for scrimmages as well in particular. And it's Auburn going to have their scrimmage coming up tomorrow down on the Plains. And that this is a case where first-year head coach Alex Golish took the team, and they are this is 13 days in a row. I think we're about into double-digit days where they're all in an apartment or some kind of I've read multiple reports, Coach, about this team either being in a hotel or resort. Either one, at least they're all living in the same area during this part of fall camp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's something to that. I mean, I don't know exactly what they're doing. I've read the same things you've read, but there's something to that. I mean, there's a lot of bonding that goes on during fall camp, and it's even more significant then because you're getting closer to games and you're getting more real. You realize who you're going to be playing next to, and try to get on the same page with them, and particularly with the offensive line, which requires more chemistry than the other positions. And I'm not saying the other positions don't require it, but the offensive line, because there's 5 guys that have to consistently work in concert, they have to. There's a bond, and that position is very fraternal because of it, I think. So those types of things, I think it's probably a wise approach.
At what point during fall camp do you think we are what we are? I know I always heard Gus in particular mention about getting better in late October and into November on how important that is, and I'm not saying that it's not. But I would just believe there has to be at some point during fall camp where you're like, all right, this is what we're rolling with. This is what we got.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that's how experienced is your team. If your team isn't very experienced, you're probably going down to the last day. If your team's experienced now the team I had in 2004, hell, we stepped into fall camp. We knew exactly what we were. We knew exactly what we were. There were no, if we had to go out and do it now, it wasn't that simple, but we knew exactly what. But other years, when there were more changes and less guys, there were times you're swearing the guy's going to be your left guard all the way through, and then you get the last week, all of a sudden he turns to crap. It gets closer to the game, and he's not playing very well, and we got a little problem here, and that could slow down the whole wagon train. So, but I think as you get closer, maybe the last week, you start saying, we got to run with this now, knowing that this position here is still kind of up for grabs, but let's put Jones in there instead of Smith and let him go. And if he makes it work, let's stick with him. But we do know he hasn't stolen the position, hasn't put a stranglehold in the position, so his leash may not be very long. Yeah. So there is a point you got to put the 11 out there that you feel can give you the best chance to win and run with them in practice.
There's been a few storylines up there in Ann Arbor here over the past offseason, Coach. I'm not sure if you're aware, But the more we go down this path, the more I'm thinking Michigan may have done pretty well for themselves by getting Kyle Whittingham out of Utah and into Ann Arbor.
Oh, I'm so fired up about it. I don't know where to start. I coached against Kyle a lot. I know him. I've been to their practices. He's been fantastic. And I just think it's a I don't know who you could have hired better. I mean, when you consider previous head coaching success, okay, establishing a program that could win year in, year out. And as when I went out and watched them practice, I realized why. Because highly organized, guys are coaching their butts off every minute. The practices are crisp. They're fast. They're hard hitting at times. He knows when to back off. I was really impressed, and they don't do it exactly the way a lot of practices I've watched. They get the same things accomplished, and some of the same drills are the same. They still do their 9-on-7 and 7-on-7 stage, but it's a little different structure. But the tempo was really impressive, and just the upbeat approach by the coaching staff was, for me, very, very impressive.
Because of all the turmoil of the offseason, I've not heard you tell me, you're there at practice, of how good does Michigan look to you, Coach?
Well, they're talented, like they always are. I mean, you coach Michigan, you're going to have some guys. But offensively now, I think they're pretty salty. They got 5 offensive linemen. Most of them have played, okay, and played significantly. French, the wide receiver, along with J.J. Buchanan, Andrew Marsh, those 3 will do the bulk of the play. And they because Harbaugh and Sherrone Moore were big tight end guys, they got a lot of tight ends on the roster, and all of them pretty good. Okay, but the position that jumps out to me the most is running back. They got 2 kids, Savion Hitter and Jordan Marshall will be as good. I'm not saying better, but as good a tandem of backs, I think, as you'll see in the country. It's all going to come down to can Bryce Underwood take the next step? Okay, but here's the news there. Okay, is he's going to have to perform because Tommy Carr was really, really good in spring football. And I have not gone to practice yet, but I'm going to go later. Mm-hmm. And I'm betting he's probably pretty good now. So there is a viable replacement if they don't get the performance they want at Underwood, because Carr was a very pleasant surprise in spring. So I think, and defensively, they're always salty. I mean, they get defensive guys, and I'd be shocked if, and the head coach is a big defensive guy, okay? So I'd be shocked if their defense wasn't pretty formidable. So I think their schedule's not going to be easy. I'm not crowning them for the national championship just yet. I think there still might be a year away from that, but they can raise some hell with the guys they got.
We've kind of chronicled this. I know it's not being dubbed as a Big Ten SEC crossover, but there is a lot of big matchups, and among them includes Oklahoma at Michigan. You got Mississippi State at Minnesota. I'm going to throw Arkansas at Utah, Coach. Obviously, Ohio State at Texas. There is a lot of crossover where the big bad Big Ten is either going to flex their muscle and say, well, there's a reason we got 3 in a row, or the SEC can finally say, let's pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah, no, this going to be fun. Oh, and you mentioned some games I'm really looking forward to seeing. As it's gone, the last few years is you got this upper echelon of football teams. And you have forever, right? I mean, but it's getting more so. It's getting to where there's more of them, and that's evidenced by the fact that a team like Indiana can win the national championship. Now, I coached Indiana, and we had trouble beating a freshman team. Okay, so that's how far this thing has come. I mean, this is an open book now, And when I was coaching the SEC was a dominant conference, and still can be. Don't get me wrong. But it is more of an open book now. And because of the NIL, because of the transfer portal, all those things, the field has gotten more level. for the higher echelon guys. Now, for the guys that aren't up there, up at the top of the, not so much. They're getting left behind. But those teams you just mentioned, hell, you can roll the dice. A lot of those guys, there'll be a surprise in there that'll make a run for it. You watch.
You went from Indiana to Auburn.
Yeah, that was. I thought after I'd been a day at Auburn. I said I've been coaching the JVs the last couple of years.
All righty, Coach. Well, be sure and give us a picture of the bouquet that you're
I'll do it. Yeah,
sending.
I'll do it. I'll make sure I do that. As usual, you guys are just a slice of heaven to talk to.
It's always great to talk to you, Coach.
You betcha.
That's Al Borges. We flip over to 70. Boy, just by the way, he's sneaking up on 71 in October.
Sounds like he's doing very gracefully.
Yes. Always fun to talk some football with Al Borges. Last coaching stop was you at Texas San Antonio back in 2018, but it's interesting to dive into what kind of scrimmages you would potentially see if you were able to watch them at both Alabama and Auburn, because there is no quarterback controversy at Auburn. Yeah, we all are expecting Byron Brown to be the guy and see what kind of guy he can be for the Auburn Tigers in their first-year system. And you're rolling over to Atlanta, taking on Baylor, and see what kind of start we get out of Alex Golish, who we will hear from tomorrow, by the way, after scrimmage number 1 down on the Plains. Speaking of scrimmages, Kalen DeBoer spoke to the media after scrimmage number 1 today. We're going to have that for you on the other side. And then at the end of this show, I already had a conversation with the voice of the Tennessee Titans as the Titans are in San Francisco, and that'll lead into our very first broadcast of Titans Radio. And it's all coming up right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
When a team sticks together, it shows in the way they work and the way they treat you.
We don't just hire great people, they stay. On average, our managers have been with us over 15 years, and company-wide turnover is under 3%.
It's a culture built on integrity and heart.
When you call, you get someone who knows your name, understands your business, and is invested in your success.
And that means service you can count on every time.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If you need masonry, brick, stone, or block work, Eagle should be your first call. They can even help if your property needs grading, erosion control, and Eagle can handle dirt haul-off. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
AL cert number 21014. Welcome into the hottest and coolest game show around called The Freeze. Today's contestant, Bob. Bob, can you tell me the heating and air business that provides free service with repair?
Is it Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
Can you tell me which heating and air business provides free second opinions?
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning.
You are our grand prize winner. You have won a visit from the #1 heating and air business in the Tennessee Valley.
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
That's right. Talent Heating and Air is coming to you.
This is Thomas with Talent Heating and Air Conditioning, and you don't have to win a game show to use us. We have free second opinions year-round, and we're doing free service calls with a repair. So just remember, call Talent Heating and Air Conditioning at 256-503-4490 or visit us on our website at talenthvac.com.
The Orthopedic Center. It's in the name. TOC, the premier choice for all your orthopedic needs. With over 40 physicians and 20 centers of excellence, TOC is the name to trust for complete, expert orthopedic care. And that word center, we mean it. With more than a dozen locations across North Alabama and the Tennessee Valley, TOC is in your community whenever you need us. As the state's largest orthopedic practice, TOC is built on trust. Trust we've earned with every patient we serve. You can see that trust on the field, too. As the official sports medicine provider for the Huntsville Havoc, Huntsville City Football Club, Oakwood and Alabama A&M universities, thousands of athletes and coaches count on TOC to keep them in the game. From student athletes to unexpected injuries, our urgent ortho clinics offer prompt, expert care. No appointment necessary. So remember, when it comes to your health and mobility, trust the name that says it all. TOC, helping you live a better life.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because, after all, Alabama is our home, too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Scrimmage number 1 is in the books in Tuscaloosa. Here is Crimson Tide head football coach Kalen DeBoer after scrimmage number 1.
Okay, Coach, we're going to have you with the opening statement.
Yeah.
Take some questions.
Yeah, you bet. Good to get out there, get in the stadium, have scrimmage, try to make a game like as possible. Just a lot of new faces that need to, make sure that feels like that's our home place and home turf. And so even wearing game jerseys today, we didn't get a chance to wear those in the spring. Just outside factors, but it was good to get the guys a lot of reps. Defense did a nice job coming out, setting the tone. Could execute a little bit better offensively, but led to a couple of takeaways, and that's always great to see because they were advantageous. You guys making plays, love to see that. And then the offense did a nice job of just slowly responding, coming back, and as the scrimmage went on, it became very balanced. So just great learning moments. We always want to take that from any practice, but a scrimmage is about as game-like as we're going to get. So a lot to learn from, and I know our guys are going to keep working. So,
Thanks, Coach. Start with Charlie on the far right.
Kind of a two-parter. Just what did you see from the running backs, and do you have an update on A.K. Deere and E.J. Crowell?
E.J. did not scrimmage today. He'll be out for a few practices here. He won't miss any games down the road. So he did not practice today. AK did suffer an injury. He actually was having a nice scrimmage, scored a touchdown. We'll evaluate him and figure out what the severity of that. So that was unfortunate because he was having a real nice scrimmage there with the touches he got. So that's kind of the status on those two.
Let's go to Katie on the far left.
How did Austin and Keelan perform in the scrimmage today, and maybe what impact did it have on the battle between those two?
As the scrimmage went on, they both got better. Both had their moments early where they could have executed better. They could use some help from some guys once in a while. They're not going to be perfect all the time. Operationally, I just think, again, it's them running the show, but everyone doing their part. And so the slow start really wasn't about one player, one position group, but both of them really, as the scrimmage went along, got in their rhythm. And so the challenge to them now will just be starting faster every single time we have these game-like scrimmages and practices coming out and setting the tone themselves.
Back to the far right, Chase.
Did anybody besides AK get banged up? And also, if you could touch on how the offensive line looked.
Yeah, no one other than just normal football stuff, injury-wise today, other than AK. And I thought, our defensive line does a nice job, the way that they play physically, and there's moments where there's just matchups every single program in the country is going to have an issue with. And so there are times where that pops up. I thought, pass protection, this has been a really good week. You can see every practice. They're understanding their assignments. They're working together. The communication is there. Run game-wise, I feel like it improved as well. There's some plays early where it's really not their fault. It might look like it, but it's not. And, today's scrimmage, that's just something we got to clean up again, getting numbers right and things like that. So it's been a steady improvement. That's what we expect, and that's what we got to have. So I like the direction it's going. There's been, for the most part, with the ones, a consistency with who's in the rotation, who's getting the snaps, and that's really important. So our twos certainly, got to find the rhythm. There's less continuity there. We've got some young guys that are taking a lot of snaps.
Go the middle and the back to Alex.
Two-parter. Do you feel closer to making a decision at quarterback? And then can you just tell me about the development and play of Jaden James?
Yep. I don't feel closer with the quarterback answer. And with Javen, days like today are huge for him. And it's making sure, just for everyone, right? It's about stacking play after play after play after play. And so I think he's done that more consistently throughout practice and fall camp. And, I think he can become a complete player. And so, just getting better. He doesn't have glaring strengths, glaring weaknesses. He's just a solid player that's getting better in all facets of his game. And so he's working at it. You can see the commitment he has with some of his just habits, things that are important to him that can help him be his best. That's what we ask of all of our guys, but that's certainly something you see him really growing and understanding how that can impact his play when he gets on the football field.
Let's go to Colin on the right.
Hey, Kayla, can you break down what you saw from inside linebacker? Kind of how much did you see in terms of rotation between the guys in the unit next to maybe Caleb too?
Yeah, sometimes from my vantage point, trying to run the whole show and don't see all the little details. Trying to make sure manage everything with each sideline, talking to and running the show there. I do think a guy like. I'm speaking more about the week of practice, probably not so much about this scrimmage. A guy like Luke Metz being able to run sideline to sideline. He's a guy I'd make a note of, just like the way he plays. Every snap as a young guy, he's getting better and better, as you'd expect. You got your guys that, again, around him. Caleb's Woodson's been consistent, brings a lot of energy and, just has a lot of game experience. And so other guys that have, again, Abdul, Sanders, and he's come along all week. QB Reese, takes a lot of snaps. He's always going to be in the right place and doing his job and bringing energy as well. So guys are consistent. It's not a group that, as a group that obviously there's some names that we got to replace from last year's team, but it's a group that I think is consistently, performed. The communication starts with them. They're doing a good job there as well.
Go to Michael, second row.
In terms of the offensive line, what do you see from the cohesion of that group with new faces, new coaching? Where is that coming together now at this point in camp?
Yeah. The cohesion, I guess, one is communication and then being on the same page, and then just I think they're taking it upon themselves, with what they do in the meeting room, just the extra work that they're putting in. They understand, that there's a lot of eyes on them and a lot of focus is on them as far as, what our team can be. And so they're owning it, accepting it, and, continuing to improve every single day. Definitely not there yet. And it's going to be something where every day you're just trying to, take those steps. Probably, there's things that they do really well. Like there's stuff that we can go out there and we can execute with those guys and feel really good about. Today, I think there's, a little bit of focus of trying to do that so you can get a rhythm going, but also, when you have live moments like we have today, and there's not many live days. I mean, there's half a dozen or so practices where we go full pads. Got to take advantage of the things that you can't see when you're not live and letting them go do their thing there. So some of the situations, there's less reps that they've had. You can see the execution or lack of execution isn't quite there yet. But that's why we practice. And, this is practice 8. It's going to go fast, but so there's urgency level, but these guys are putting the pedal down every single day, working on becoming one. And again, there's been a lot of consistency with who's in the rotation, especially with the ones, and that's been important for our progress.
Emily Grace, back left.
Coach, what were your points of emphasis for both the offense and the defense heading into today's scrimmage?
Discipline and detail. Just discipline and some of the things we had more penalties today. They were the penalties when you have a full officiating crew that are really good to have called, like guys going downfield just a little bit too soon, so it's illegal men downfield. And what you really saw on both sides of the ball is those penalties hurting that, the momentum. Defense might have the offense in a unfavorable down and distance and have some type of penalty that you don't get called every day in practice when you don't have a full SEC crew. Maybe they're not seeing everything. And so that was actually good. I consider that a positive. I'd rather learn those things now and go through those moments in a scrimmage like this. It's frustrating for each side of the ball to have those called. But, we did a good job learning from that a year ago and becoming really the least penalized team in the conference. And so that's certainly been a focus. I have not taken that for granted again, that that you got to work at it. You got to be intentional and conscious of making sure that doesn't happen.
Last 2 questions. We'll start with Hunter and then finish with that.
Yeah, was there a position group that maybe stood out most to you?
I don't know. There was times. We got a couple tip balls, so the DBs did a nice job making a play because they were picking it up right up off the ground. And those plays aren't always made. It wasn't just gimmies. I thought there were some good plays where we yards after catch. I thought the running backs were chewing up some yards there and got better as the scrimmage went along. So I think our D line's just been really consistent. And I don't want to take that for granted, so I should mention that. I have an expectation for them, and I think that they've done a nice job. So I thought the tight ends, as the scrimmage went along, got better. So again, guys, in every snap that we take, it matters, especially with the younger guys across the board on our football team.
Last question will be from Matt, middle of the room.
Besides EJ and obviously Noah Rogers, did anybody totally sit out today?
Guys that sat out, lots years missed a couple practices and did not scrimmage today, and he'll just be out for a few more practices, I would expect, and don't expect him to miss any games or anything like that. So he did not practice today.
All right,
You're good. Thank you.
Kalen DeBoer press conferences are brought to you by McCurry Motors. You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey, I'm Bobby White for Lynn Layton Ford Indicator. Summer is flying by and our summer sales event is coming to an end soon. But there's still time to lock in low, amazing summer deals. Now's your last chance to get 0% financing, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 maintenance for 2 years, and $1,000 down payment assistance on a huge selection of new Fords. With your good credit, get up to $6,000 off MSRP on 26 Broncos. $6,000 off. While they last, get $7,500 off MSRP on a 25 Bronco Sport. $7,500 off. The last new 2026 STX crew cab started under $46,000, and Lynn Layton Ford will never add any dealer dock fees or some ridiculous upcharge. Don't miss out on 0%, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 cost for maintenance for 2 years, and $1,000 in down payment assistance. Hurry into Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com.
Bronco 28442T, Bronco Sport 28032D, F-150 28485T. See dealer for details.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he could take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well, because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
When a team sticks together, it shows in the way they work and the way they treat you.
We don't just hire great people, they stay. On average, our managers have been with us over 15 years, and company-wide turnover is under 3%.
It's a culture built on integrity and heart.
When you call, you get someone who knows your name, understands your business, and is invested in your success.
And that means service you can count on every time.
No Wi-Fi?
How are we going to stream the game?
Mom, I have a research project due.
How are we going to make dinner?
Don't let power outages send your family into a meltdown. Get a Generac generator from Current Electrical. We keep your lights on and your Wi-Fi on. Visit gensuperstore.com or call 256-880-1880. Trust us, your family will thank you.
Most current way to keep your power on. GeneracSuperstore.com.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Incredibly hot through the course of the afternoon under a partly sunny sky. Temperatures have no problems climbing into the mid and upper 90s. Heat indices going to be anywhere between 105 and 110. We only drop into the mid and upper 70s as we head into the overnight, so we're going to maintain that heat. A partly sunny sky for your Friday. Again, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. Heat indices 105 to 110.
Your Fox 54 weather. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Down the drive here on a Thursday. In fact, coming up is Titans Radio. It's our maiden voyage with Titans Radio. I am proud to be an alum of Titans Radio. Spent 3 years with Mike Keith and the crew back in the day during what was the Air McNair and transitioning into the Vince Young era. Here is my conversation with the voice of the Tennessee Titans from earlier this afternoon, Taylor Zarzour. Year 2 for you, sir. Tell me, I was so excited to hear when you landed the gig in the first place, but tell me what year 1 was like for you, sir, taking over the mic, and it's pretty cool from my perspective, but tell me from your perspective of now that this is year 2 for Taylor Zarzour.
It's a dream come true, honestly. I very much have enjoyed all the TV work that I'm still doing for SEC Network and the TV and radio work I'm doing in golf. I'm very blessed to be able to keep doing that and love it. But there's nothing more fulfilling than being the voice of a community that you love and being the voice of a team. And you get to be such a huge part of it when you interact with all the players and the staff and the coaching staff. And, you really do. You're one big family. You're one big team. And people that you have great relationships with are out there on the field, and it becomes personal.
Yeah.
And, then the community on top of that, and you know this better than anyone. I mean, I got my start really in broadcasting in Nashville 25 years ago, and it's a town that I've always had a special connection to, one that I've always wanted to come back to. And I can't believe how much more fulfilling it is than I thought it would be. It's been really special, and now the next step, Steve, is to win more football games. And everybody in the organization is very committed to doing that.
I want to bring up Coach Mack for obvious reasons. Every time I reached out to Coach Mack, he would immediately answer yes or no, and he was one of the kinder individuals I've ever met on planet Earth. And what was it like sharing a booth with him? And I miss him. I can't imagine from your perspective.
Yeah, this trip is really hard. This is the first trip we've taken as a team since his death. And he was at the back of bus 7, and I'd sit next to him in the back of bus 7 when we practiced against another team and went back to the hotel. We went to dinner as a team, or went to a walkthrough, or then bus to the stadium. We sat next to each other on the plane. We were I was one room over from him on all road trips. And this has been it's been a hard trip because I've really felt his loss out here in California as the Titans are ready to play the 49ers. And so that's been a hard thing. He is, just like he loved you, Steve, he loved everyone with both of his arms. He didn't have an arrogant bone in his body, but he had this incredible love of football that he wanted to share with everyone. He wanted to teach everyone. He wanted everyone to get closer to the game and feel like they loved it, like he loved it. He wasn't trying to prove anything or show you how much he knew. He wanted to share it. And the last year of his life was a really special year for me to get to have that relationship with him. And I really thought I was going to have more time. But I do. I miss him, and everybody in the organization really feels that as well. I will tell you that what gives me a lot of joy, though, is I'm surrounded by a lot of people that Coach Mack loved, and it went both ways. And Ramon Foster was the sideline reporter for the Titans for a couple of years as of 2 years ago, and he left to be the analyst for the Vols last year. Yeah. And he took that job thinking that he would do that job for his alma mater for many years, not knowing the situation we'd be in now. And now he is the analyst for the Titans. And Ramon and Coach Mack were very close. And the fact that he's now sitting next to me in the booth is something that Coach Mack would bring Coach Mack so much joy. And so I take a lot of solace in that. Brad Hopkins is on the sidelines for us tonight, and Hop and Mack were very close as well. And so it does feel in many ways like he's still there. Coach Sala said something yesterday in our meeting with him, and Coach Sala did not know Coach Mack. But he said something that almost made me have to leave the room. He talked about how young this Titans team is. And he said at the end of how he was describing how young the team was and how confident he is and how much better they're going to get during the season, he said it's all about time on task. And I really almost had to leave the room. If you've ever listened to a Titans broadcast, or if you've listened to a Steve Moulton interview with Coach Mack, or any interview that Coach Mack ever did, he used that phrase, and every single time he spoke about it being about time on task. And it was really eerie that a man that didn't know him at all would choose those exact words to describe this team. So we very much can feel his presence right now.
Wow. Talking to the voice of the Titans right now, Taylor Zarzour, and getting you ready for Titans and 49ers tonight. So What has it been like getting to know Coach Saleh? In fact, the roster itself has a very Jets and Giants feel for obvious reasons.
It sure does, man. I mean, they are everywhere, and I get it too. You know, as you're trying to install a new foundation and a new kind of personality to your team, you want a bunch of people that have already lived it, that understand it, that bought into it. You know, Bill Parcells did that all the time, right? When he was with the Giants or the Jets or the Patriots or the Cowboys, he'd bring all these guys that played for him before into sort of, and that is clearly what Robert Saleh has done with this team. Brian Dable has his center. He has a receiver, a tight end. He's got his offensive line coach. He got a number of people that understand what Dabes wants from an offense. And Saleh's got his defensive coordinator. He's got a handful of guys on the field. He's got a D-line coach. I mean, he's got all these guys that really know what he wants to do defensively. So I do think that that's going to yield to a few more wins than maybe you would think from a talent standpoint or where the organization currently is standpoint. I think that all the experience and the cohesion that the coaching staff has, they're going to figure out a way to win a couple of games that maybe you think, man, how did they win that one? I think that's going to happen this season. There's no question that this organization is laying a foundation this year, and I really believe you're going to see significant improvement, but I do think that those are worth wins.
So with preseason games in particular, what do you think we're going to see specifically out of Cam Ward tonight? And offensively, how much are they going to open things up in a preseason game, you think, Taylor?
Yeah, I mean, if you're driving around northern Alabama tonight or into southern Tennessee and listening, I think that you're going to be excited to say, wow, man, Cam's playing tonight. He's playing 20 plays or so tonight. And Tony Pollard and Wan'Dale Robinson and Brand Carnell Tate that's had such a great camp so far, they're all out there. Jeff Simmons is out there for 20 plays tonight. I think because of the team being so young, Steve, that's why they want to get, that sounds like, a quarter maybe or so? I mean, that sounds maybe more.
Okay.
If you're going 20 plays.
Yeah.
But that's what Saleh really wants, is he wants 20 plays. Now, he's not going to call them off the field in the middle of a drive if they get to 20, but I think it's clear he wants, as he said, more time on task. He wants these guys to get into the rhythm of the game against another team. And now there'll be a lot of backups for the 49ers because the 49ers are so much further along. And with, Kyle Shanahan's in his 10th year, it's a very similar culture too. Being at practice the other day, it's almost as if Saleh was telling his team, guys, this is what it's going to look like. Go practice against them today. This is where we're trying to get to. But I think it's going to be meaningful tonight to get to see that. These preseason games, Steve, don't seem to mean as much as they once did. And it's more about the scrimmage that you have against the same team a day or two before.
Yeah.
But I do think that this preseason game tonight is going to feel like it's a bigger deal to this team, which I think is exciting for fans and for listeners.
Who has impressed you so far, be it in practice and who you have observed? Who's somebody at least on your radar?
Yeah, I'll give you a few. On offense, Carnell Tate. Each time you see him make a wow play, which is every day, you look at the person next to you and say, we need to calm down. He's a rookie. We need to calm down. Let's not get too excited here. And then he does it again a few minutes later, and you're like, we need to stay focused here. Let's not get too excited. Let's not go tell everybody Carnell Tate's going to be the greatest receiver ever. But my goodness, it's hard to stay steady when you watch how talented this guy is. He's so graceful out there on the football field, and he just has this big play ability, and nothing feels too big for him. He just feels like he's wise beyond his years, and the connection that Cam and Carnell have made very quickly in camp has been fun to watch. Alec Iomanner had a good rookie season. He's been better in camp this year than he was last year as a rookie, so I would look for Alec to push some of those first-team receivers like Tate, Calvin Ridley, and Wan'Dale Robinson for reps. So Io Manor and Tate on offense would be two names I would. Defensively, Anthony Hill from the University of Texas is a linebacker, and it's going to be hard to keep him off of the football field. They've got Cody Barton. Cedric Gray was top 5 in the NFL in tackles last year, so they've got some guys in front of him. But he just looks the part. He looks like a guy that midway through his rookie season, they're going to say, okay, that's enough. We got to put 53 on the field. So he's one guy. Evan Winston would have been a first-round draft pick, but he tore up his knee 2 years ago at Penn State, and he slipped to the 3rd round to the Titans last year, and it took him until half the season last year to get healthy. And then he had an unfortunate injury, ironically, against the 49ers out here in December. So he really didn't get a rookie season. He is totally healthy now. He's the best defensive back the Titans have. And he has very much looked the part. Number 23 for the Titans has been outstanding. So I'd give you Tate and Io Manor on offense, Hill and Winston on defense. None of those 4 players I just talked about, Steve, are older than 23 years old. Wow. Like, this team is so young, and that's exciting. I mean, they're building a new culture, but also, it's exciting because they're going to get better and better, but you also have to be mindful of they're 21, they're 22, they're 23.
Finally, for me, Taylor, biggest question that you have going into tonight's game is what from a Titans perspective?
We need to see the offensive line hold up, specifically at right guard. I don't think they know who their right guard is. They're going to try a couple of different guys there tonight. Carmona, that comes from Arkansas. You'll also see Jackson Slater in there, Cordell Dolson that they picked up in the offseason. They have a number of different options there. Or maybe they go outside the organization to find that option in the next few weeks. But they need to solve that at right guard. They've got to do a better job of protecting Cam Ward this year. J.C. Latham from Alabama has really good camp at right tackle so far, but he proved that in the regular season. Dan Moore at left tackle needs to play better than he did last year coming over from Pittsburgh. So Pete Skoronski is one of the best left guards. They just paid him a lot of money, and he's been a spot starter in his career. Around Skoronski, there are a lot of questions, Steve, on this offensive line, and they need to answer those questions, I think, in the rest of the preseason as they get ready for week 1 against the Jets. But that's the thing that you really need to see take shape if the Titans are going to fight to be a championship level football team.
Best of luck on the call tonight. We'll be listening, and we're excited. I cannot tell you how excited we are being a part of Titans Radio and our maiden voyage here tonight. Thank you so much for the time.
Steve, I'm so excited to have you guys. Does the same rule apply? You used to offer me money if I got interviews in the locker room with Titans players. I'll go down there and do that if you're still offering.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'll absolutely. Yeah, give you a couple of. It sounds like you need to give me some coins from all the jobs that you got right now, partner. It's. I'm happy for your success, and it's fun to see you on SEC Network, ESPN, and on Titans Radio. I'm really proud of you, sir.
Lunch on me in Nashville. Thank you, my friend.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey, I'm Bobby White for Lynn Layton Ford in Decatur. Summer is flying by and our summer sales event is coming to an end soon. But there's still time to lock in low, amazing summer deals. Now's your last chance to get 0% financing, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 maintenance for 2 years, and $1,000 down payment assistance on a huge selection of new Fords. With your good credit, get up to $6,000 off MSRP on 20 Broncos. $6,000 off. While they last, get $7,500 off MSRP on a 25 Bronco Sport. $7,500 off. The last new 2026 STX Crew Cab started under $46,000. And Lynn Layton Ford will never add any dealer dock fees or some ridiculous upcharge. Don't miss out on 0%, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 cost for maintenance for 2 years, and $1,000 in down payment assistance. Hurry into Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford Country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at LynnLaytonFord.com.
Bronco 28442T, Bronco Sport 28032D, F-150 28485T. See dealer for details.
Scott Tyson here with your 97.7 ESPN The Zone Sports Minute. Fall camp continuing for both Alabama and Auburn. Alabama set to scrimmage for the first time today. All eyes expected to be on the quarterback battle between Keelan Russell and Austin Mack. Auburn expected to scrimmage for the first time tomorrow. Huntsville Tyler Watts tees off later today in the round of 64 at the U.S. Amateur Golf Championship. Watts, the second seed, will take on 34th seed Anson Munslinger. Watts is currently the third-ranked amateur in the world. Rocket City Trash Pandas fall to Knoxville last night 7-1. Same two teams back at it tonight. Game 3 of that 6-game road series. First pitch set for 6 p.m. Atlanta Braves drop the New York Mets 6-3. Atlanta's off today before beginning a home series with Arizona on Friday. Download the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app today as the start of the high school football season comes your way Thursday, August 20th.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Incredibly hot through the course of the afternoon under a partly sunny sky. Temperatures have no problems climbing into the mid and upper 90s. Heat indices going to be anywhere between 105 and 110. We only drop into the mid and upper 70s as we head into the overnight, so we're going to maintain that heat. A partly sunny sky for your Friday. Again, temperature climbing into the mid and upper 90s. Heat indices 105 to 110.
Your Fox 54 weather. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the first days of pro football in the Mid-South.
Do the Titans have a miracle left in them?
Through decades where every moment has happened.
And we welcome you to the Chris Johnson Show. Wow! He just went 92 yards. That is a safety. Okay. Jeff Simmons gets the safety. Takes a shotgun snap. Throws short side. That is a Titan touchdown. Yes, Jim DK. Not yes. Not yes. Hell yes.
This is Titans Radio. Every season is a test of endurance. Rosters evolve. Coaches adjust. Front offices reload. But the standard never changes. Compete. Improve. Finish. Year one of Robert Sala's tenure begins. His Titans are ready to take the next step. And our team Gets You Titans Countdown starts now on Titans Radio. A full hour of news, insight, interviews, and everything you need before game time. Now from the SeatGeek Broadcast Center, here's your game day host, Will Bowling.
The Tennessee Titans have been busy building this offseason. A new coaching staff, a roster competing to make the final 53, a new stadium taking shape above the Music City skyline, building up towards a new season with new leadership. The Tennessee Titans begin the preseason building a new identity. All gas, no brake. And tonight, the rubber meets the road as we hit the accelerator on a new era from Santa Clara, California for Titans and 49ers. It's year one for Robert Saleh and his staff, but it is year two for quarterback Cam Ward. Last year, the number one overall pick threw for a rookie franchise record 3,169 passing yards, breaking Marcus Mariota's 10-year-old record set in 2015. And Cam finished strong. In his final 10 games, Ward threw only one interception with 10 touchdown passes and also rushed for 2 scores. Now, Robert Saleh says that his starters will play in all 3 preseason games. It remains to be seen just how much Cam Ward will see the field tonight, but as preparation continues ahead of his second season, Ward says he's seeing the game in a whole new way.
Because I'm seeing the game in a different aspect, especially being with Coach Dave and Coach Shea, trying to see the game from everybody's perspective, just mine. You got to be able to help the O-linemen out, not when they're not at their best. And you also got to help the running backs and receivers out when they're not at their best, and that's when I have to be, pinpoint accurate with the football. So it's a lot to it, and I think just the system is allowing, everybody to play at a faster rate. We're able to get to the line of scrimmage faster on all ends, and I think it's, system is a part of it as well. Coach Dave, he lets me be me. He warns me when I need to be a better decision maker, but